Let us spend some time with today's Gospel from Matthew chapter 7 verse 1 to 5. The Pharisees set themselves up as judges over all the other and gloried in their own holiness, false holiness. They despised all others because they didn't meet their moral standards according to them. Judgment is important to have the right place in our own lives. What Jesus forbids is the self-righteousness, the self-righteous hypocritical judging, which is false, and by its falsehood calls down God's own judgment on itself. The image Jesus uses in this parable is striking. To start with, this is one of those rare passages in the Gospel where he betrays a great sense of humor. It's more than humor. It cuts right to the core in judging the Pharisees. Because in the wording of the Gospel, it is an impossible situation. Because what is in the eye is far bigger than what we understand with the English translation, with splinter and plank. It is impossible to have in the eye a dried twig or a straw, or having a piece of timber such as a plank. It's impossible. The supposition is intended to be ridiculous. And just imagine Jesus' irony when this was shared with the Pharisees, possibly in the presence of others. A man with a plank in his own eye, slaying the splinter in his brother's eyes, and they are attempting to draw it out. It's a very grotesque image. But let us have a closer look at it. Lansky, in his interpretation, draws our attention to the fact that the eye is often overlooked as an image. The splinter is thought to be some small moral fault, and the beam corresponds with some greater fault. But why are the splinter and the beam placed in the eyes? And why not other parts of the body? Jesus speaks about the moral perception with which we operate, or in the parable with which the Pharisees, the self-righteous, operate. The small splinter and the plank in the eye, they refer to the moral perception which is slightly wrong in one person and totally wrong in the other. And this is the paradox in this parable, that he who is devoid of all truly moral judgment pretends to aid someone who is slightly wrong in his judgment. To sum up this image which unmasks and shames the Pharisees, the image is really grotesque, because just imagine the Pharisee, as it were, helping the other, trying to remove the splinter from the eye of the other. In this delicate operation, we have to move close to the eye of the other person. But just imagine and visualize this image. The man with a beam in his eye will knock out both of the eyes of the man who has splinter in it. A very grotesque, ridiculous image. But the message is really striking. He tells straightforward to the Pharisees, in other words, that you are eye doctors with beams in your own eyes. Your eyes is not healed at all. Your eye is in trouble, and you pretend to help others. We can try to apply this to our own life as individuals and as a culture. Just have a look at how easily we, or politicians, decision makers, come out with a judgment and pretend to know the full correct moral behavior, what is right and what is correct. Instead of rushed judgments about situations, wars, cowards, bad guys, good guys in history, let us first listen to God. Hold our eyes carefully to Him, that He might scrutinize our eyes, the eyes of our heart, the eye of the heart, and help us to remove all what is a hindrance in seeing truth and our neighbor.